All right, so we'll go here. Some leaders are saying AI is a bubble. Notable at that. So you got Sam Altman with OpenAI. Here's what he says. AI feels a lot like the dot-com bubble. Lots of hype, maybe too much. Now that's from Sam Altman himself, OpenAI. Then we have Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. All right, real prestigious over there. He says AI stock prices look risky and possibly overvalued. All right. And then lastly, Bank of England. All right, over there in the UK, says AI stock valuations look similar to the peak of the 2000 dot-com boom. So that's what people are looking at. They're like, man, I've been through this, kinda, and it looks like a lot like it. Now, here's what we're talking about. Huge spending, but little payoff so far. Okay, this is what's going on. Big tech companies, they're pouring a lot of money, like crazy money, stupid, dumb money into AI. We're talking Amazon, 100 billion with a B. Meta, 600 billion. Microsoft, 80 billion. Google, 75 billion. Apple, $50 billion. So you look at all that money and you're like, yo, it's got to be something there. It's got to be something there, right? But here's what some people are saying. MIT, everyone knows MIT. MIT says, and this is the one that has been bubbling up and what everybody's been talking about. They say 95% of companies investing in generative AI are getting zero return. 95% getting zero return, even though they're spending 30 to 40 billion dollars. Now, to justify the current spending that they're doing, AI revenue would actually need to grow from $20 billion today to $2 trillion by 2030. And that's a crazy jump. So if we look at it, you got stocks are also becoming super concentrated. I know, a lot of people, they got their hands in this AI stocks, right? They put money in dollar cost averaging into the AI stocks. But we got 30% of the S&P 500 is now made up of AI companies. 20% of MSCI World Index is made up of AI companies. So you got all this money being poured into it. 95% of companies investing in generative AI are getting zero return. And on the stock market side, it's a large portion of it in there. So AI stock drove 75 to 90% of the market growth since ChatGPT came out. Experts are saying that level of concentration is super risky and hasn't been seen in decades. So there is a hype cycle problem right here as well. A lot of analysts are saying AI is at the peak of inflated expectations. So basically what that's saying is people expect too much. They're expecting too much out of AI right now. And then some warn that the trough of delusionment is coming when reality won't match the hype. And so basically one analyst said that by 2026, AI will lose its sparkle and get back to hard work. I don't know what that analyst is smoking, but either way, we're going to keep going. So there's a strange financial loop here, right? So you got some companies are building AI infrastructure. Then you have other companies that are investing in AI startups and then also selling services to those same startups, right? This is what some people are doing, and they call it circular financing. And it can be dangerous when that funding ends up drying up, right? So now there's that side. But then there's some people on the other side who are saying, yo, this is not a bubble. And that's kind of where we'll end off on this section. It says some people argue that money is going into real infrastructure, right? It's not just hype. You got all these data centers being built, right? All of that. You got new breakthroughs in DeepSeek R1, right? It show AI can still be more efficient, cheaper, more powerful. So it's a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum. And at this point, you just don't know who's going to win. The problem with a bubble, and this is coming from me, the problem with a bubble is you don't know if it's gonna pop until it actually pops. I mean, that's just real. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, will AI and all this spending on AI hurt other industries going forward? Some are saying yes, and it could happen. And others are saying that big tech companies use their own cash, so the impact might be limited. Now, what I would say is when I was looking at this over the weekend as well, here's what I saw. Right, I saw that the study for MIT that everybody's been talking about, the 95% of companies get zero return. What that comes from is the big companies, right? So the big, what do you call it? Like 100 million plus companies who can't move fast. They don't move fast. Most of those pilots, and from those companies, those large businesses, most of the pilots, the AI pilots, are 3 times less likely to get out of that stage than small and medium-sized businesses. So what we're seeing is another study being done, and it might look like conflicting information. And the other study was done by Wharton. Y'all know who Wharton is. If y'all know Wharton, Wharton said 75% of companies overall report positive ROI from AI. So you look at that, you got 95% on one hand and then 75% on the other. What's the difference? And that's what I just told you. Small businesses, they are basically like little jet skis in the ocean. They can move, turn, they can, hit the wheelie on them. And then you got these big, large companies who say, hey, we need to look into AI. Well, let's just get a team that we got inside, right? They're not bringing anybody from outside, and they ain't moving. They got these big old yachts. They can't move fast. Matter of fact, not even a yacht. They got the big cruise ships. Y'all know them huge ones.
The ocean liners.
They can't turn fast. So a lot of those pilots that they're doing, which are custom built, by the way, also. So they're doing custom built stuff. They barely get out of pilots because it's too many hands in the pot. You got to go through too many checks and all this stuff. So this is what reality looks like. And so when you look at that, okay, yeah, 95%, they ain't moving. And it's because they're so big, it's too much jurisdiction going on in there. Meanwhile, the small and medium-sized businesses, they doing numbers, and 75% say yes, we've seen big jumps. So that's where it's hard to look at, or where you got to really read between the numbers and really understand what's going on out here. And so going forward, we'll see what ends up happening, if it's really a bubble or if it's not. That's where we at.
Well, yes. First, yeah, I definitely have a lot to say about this. But listen, if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, or as some people might say, death threats, put in the chat right now. We want to hear from you because this is a very interesting conversation. I want to get backtrack to those that are listening who may want to say, wait, what is a bubble? Just a quick Google search. Basically, a bubble, in the way that we're referring to it, is used to refer to good or a fortunate situation that is isolated from reality or unlikely to last. So just want to clarify that in case somebody's like, I think I know what a bubble is. So keeping that in mind, the question is, do we think that AI is going to last? And if we're comparing it to the internet, it changed our lives forever. You're using the internet right now.
Hello.
So absolutely, it's going to last. And the reason why I say that is first of all, again, on a personal level, there's massive adoption of this already. It's already changed the way we do things. And as Trey and I was chuckling about earlier from that analyst that says we could go back to hard work. Sure, buddy. We're not going back to the status quo. It's just going to get better from here. We've seen what's happened with the technology that's occurred only with just video alone, and how that has and the use of the Will Smith eating spaghetti meme as an example of seeing how that has grown in the past couple of months to a year's time, and it is phenomenal. There's other things that I've seen happen. My wife even was able to make using AI a birthday card for our daughter, and just at home. She's not a graphic designer. There's no way she's creative, but that's not something that's in her wheelhouse. AI, ChatGPT, that she used to generate it, helped her to create this beautiful birthday invitation, right? So we're not going back to the way things are. We're going back to the question here. And listen, I'm just giving you time to type in the chat your thoughts, comments, concerns. Let us know. And also, you could call into the show. In fact, just so you know, we dropped the link, so feel free to call into the show and let us know your thoughts in it. And before I do that, though, we got Tech Coach Ralph in the building. Good morning. I know he has a lot to say about this topic, so I'm gonna let his Twitter fingers get warmed up before I let him jump in. But yeah, in regards to this topic, especially because of work I do already in the space, there is ROI on both large businesses and on both smaller businesses. And why I say that is because it's all about what you're measuring. So, for example, if a company is focused within the contact center, they're going to measure things like average handle time, uh, FCR, first call resolution, or containment of those calls. Those are what's important to them. And in regarding to taking care of those metrics, the ROI will be determined from that. Oh, we saved this amount of much time, which equates to this much amount of money. And they're able to then allocate that budget to someplace else. So we see that with large businesses, but to go back to what Trey is even saying, we're seeing that with mass adoption with smaller businesses because there's not so much red tape, yellow tape, any kind of blue tape, whatever tape you want to call it. There's not much tape there. So they don't take a lot of time to then take these things, apply it, and then see the really truly the fruit of it. What I do want to say, though, is that it's all about how you're using AI and in regards to what kind of partnership you have, because that's what we're seeing. A lot of people right now are getting in the AI business and they're trying to use they're trying to use a LLM as a wrapper to kind of push whatever they're doing. No shame in the game for what they're doing, right? But what I do say is that for those that have the right partnerships that are really making it happen, we got Big Bubbles in here. He says double chirp. I don't know, but we're gonna shout you at the end because you commented. Anybody that comments, it's a shout out. So
What up?
so what up? So yeah, and then we have Tech Coach Ralph says, I'm not sure how the return is being measured on AI. That it really goes back. It really goes back because there's some case studies where it's like for example, if you have an AI agent, and I'm just going to use this because this is the world I live in. If you have an AI agent that is containing a certain amount of calls that would be normally handled by a human agent, and we're talking about like, oh, I can't get into my account, like the little things, right, that really take up time, that agent is free up to do other things. So that cost right there is significant for a business where they can say, I got to deploy a certain amount of agents to handle these remedial tasks. I don't have to have my human agent worry about those little things. If something needs to be escalated, we can then pass it on to the human agent and they'll have a full summary of the conversation and it'll be a quicker resolution. That's good. That's meaningful for me. So it really depends on what type of business you have and what you're looking for. I know you can share a little bit more about the side of that you're on as well in regards to AI agents, but like that is the value that people are seeing. And then they could convert those the savings there or even upsell opportunities. So let's say you're talking to somebody, a customer, and then that AI agent is not only able to contain the call, but say, hey, I look at your profile here, your account. There's actually an opportunity for you to bundle everything and do X, Y, and Z. And so now that customer is being upsold, how do you quantify that? So there's different ways that companies can really make ROI on their AI investment. It's just how they're using it and what kind of partnership that they have. Because if they don't have the right partnership, they're not going to see the ROI that they're looking for. Techos Ralph says companies have just started implementing it this year and they're expecting to see a return in their investment already. I mean, listen, it's like, what have you done for me lately? The mentality. But there are companies that have invested early on. One big company that we know of that does invest early into technology is Intuit, for example. They invested early on and they've seen ROIs for quite some time. And there's other companies who are like, let's see how this turns out. Like you said, Tech Coach Ralph, who are now getting in the game and they want to kind of see those early numbers, but it's hard to tell when it's depending on their use case, what it is. But I'm going to pause here and let Tech Coach Ralph say this last thought here, and not even last thought, but another thought, and then let Tech back Trey add some more. But Tech Coach Ralph says Meta is making AI implementation part of their 2026 performance reviews, right? So as you said, they're giving it time to breathe. It's not going to be something that they're looking for. Hey, we did this 2 months ago, right? Going
Yeah.
back to what you said though, Trey, those pilots are important to kind of give them that forecast of what it could look like for them when within a small group that they're working with, and see if they could expand it. So yeah, I'll pause here though and let you share any
It's
other
just
thoughts
a,
you got, Trey.
it's just assuming that they can get out of the pilots.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's for as far as what Tech Coach Ralph said, I don't know if it's the company. Well, companies are expecting a return, but most of the times, if you're dealing with businesses, they understand that return, depending on what you're doing, there's a there is a little leeway there. Normally, businesses don't expect a return for like 3 years. So my
Mhm.
question is it the businesses that are looking at this stuff, or is it these articles and independent people who are looking at and trying to get in early on whether this is working or not? And so I think it's a mix of both. And the reason I say that is when you talk to people, business owners right now, they're thinking AI is a magic pill. And so, they come up with all these crazy things that they want. And this is where this study comes in. I'm telling you, if you look deep into this MIT study, the 95% that fail, this is around custom like first off, it's enterprise level companies, and then it's around these custom AI pilot projects that they're doing. The other one that I told you about, the 75 companies that overall report positive ROI, there are bigger companies in there as well, but what it's from is more structured, like high ROI um, things that they can do in that company to get it done. And so these custom pieces, custom projects that they're building out, it might not be a high ROI on there yet, and that's what they're dealing in. Where versus, hey, we need to figure out a way to um, answer calls faster, and then boom, you have companies like Cresta or whatever that can get that implemented, and then now you see that instant positive ROI. And so it's really just that point right there, man. But we'll see at the end of the day. What I do know is these enterprise level companies, they move a lot slower, and so it's just going to be a longer horizon to see if that return for them is worth it or not. The problem is they aren't waiting around to see it. They're letting these pilot projects go like, it's just a loss. We'll write it off, at the end of the year, but not going to work for us. When really it was just so much tape that they had to get through that they gave up on it. Meanwhile, these mid and small level companies, somewhere between 200 to 250 million dollar in revenue, they're seeing way better ROI and success more often because they're able to just make these certain moves and decisions a lot faster.
Yeah, yeah. And before I go to Tech Coach Ralph's comment, I got Coco the Yorkie saying, "I like your hat."
Ah, that's funny. Appreciate
I
it.
like your hat.
Appreciate it.
So definitely, I appreciate you for doing that. And just like I said before, if you comment on the show, we're gonna shout you out at the end. So we appreciate every comment that comes through. We really do. And then we got Tech Coach Ralph that shares something that I think is very, very important. Is that employees are also very resistant to using it. Imagine somebody that's been working with whatever department they are, 20, 30 years, maybe not even that far. Let's just say 10 to 15, who are doing it a certain way. They kind of feel like they got it. And then you say, hey, we need you to implement this AI tool. It's supposed to make your job easier, blah, 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 blah. I know when I first got my new phone, just a little couple of the different settings that they have, I was like, man, I wish I could go back to the old one. And so a part of me was like, oh man, I wish I could go back to the old one, but I just had to get used to it.
That's
Now,
it.
now the issue is there are some, and I'm saying this from what I've seen, experienced, that there are certain companies where their employees, excuse me, and even some people in some managerial roles aren't adopting the technology, so it's hard for them to say that the ROI is there. And eventually they'll churn because they're like, hey, listen, I know you said you could do this thing for me. It's like when you have medicine, the doctor gives you medicine and they say, hey, take this medicine, you'll feel better. And you're like, you don't take the medicine, or you take it for one day, but you don't take it throughout the course. And then you're like, don't think this medicine's gonna work. And the doctor's looking like you still have it's a
Have the
7 day
bottle up.
it's a 7 day subscription, right? You took 1 day and you felt like you were supposed to get better from this.
That's people.
That's people, and that's the problem. And I think that it's a combination of understanding that, hey, listen, this is not looking to, especially depending on the technology, this is not looking to replace your job. This is looking to augment things, automate certain things, but augment things so that, like I tell that analogy, like with the last Transformers, where basically the hero becomes one with the Transformer. They're working in tandem. They're not working against each other. So depending on the technology they're looking to put in place.
It's just
Go ahead,
crazy, bro.
Nick.
It's crazy because there's in anything that you do when you first started, even if you're naturally good at it,
Yeah,
you're not as fast or as good as when you actually understand it and get going. It's like if you just started doing something, there's gonna be that time where you have to learn it and have to grow.
yeah,
Most people don't want to get out of that time frame. They rather go back to the old thing that is taking you however long to do that old thing, and it's telling you, hey, you're going to be able to do this 2 times faster. But
yeah.
you're looking at right now where it's 3 times slower, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh, forget this. I'm doing it faster this way. And it's like, yeah, until you learn the new way. When you learn a new way, it works out. But
Yeah,
most people don't want to do that part. And it's sad because, if you was in my cut, you got to go. You got to get out of there. You don't want
sayonara.
to do it. You don't want to get with the program. This is the program we got set up over here. If you don't want to get with it, you got to go.
And that's why they say it's those people that adopt AI are going to be the ones that are going to outpace those that do not and take their money, take their lunch money, take their jobs. It's not AI itself, it's those that can utilize it for the good. Let me go to the comment section real quickly. We got before I go to Tech Coach Ralph's comment here. He was laughing at that. But Ty Smith says it's definitely a good hat. What up, Ty? So glad to have you in the building. AI and automation with quantum.
Hey, so you know what we believe in over here.
AI and automation. listen, it said it here first. But yeah, Tech Coach Ralph says, I see non-tech people more willing to embrace it. It is very true. It is very true. He also says some good things here. He says, I think people are terrified of it. They see how close and how fast AI comes to being correct, and they feel like they're staring at the replacement, basically.
gotta
Yeah,
gotta get over that. I
yeah.
believe it.
I see a tool that reads and understands your code base in seconds that took you years to write. That is
Yeah,
intimidating if you say it
yeah,
like that.
yeah. But it's
You
all
look,
about how you frame, how you look at it, how you see that. It's
yeah,
like, yo, in my mind, and maybe it's because I'm not in that space, but for me personally, I look at what you just read and I'm like, yo,
opportunity.
I can work with more people.
Mm,
Hey, let me go
mm,
and partner with these independent companies that need some code looked at. And then on the weekends, I'm burning through their code because I got help. But I don't know. Maybe it's not possible. It's just somebody outside the space.
That's a good point, though. Like opportunity. We talk about that all the time here. There's opportunity more than lack. There's abundance more than what we see out there, especially when we hear all this news. That's why I want to talk about it because I was looking at what is like people talking about this weekend, and there are a bunch of articles about this topic, like the AI bubble, and they're comparing it to the internet. And I'm like, you're comparing it to the internet? I think the internet's a great thing. I don't
Bro,
know. To me, it's like if that's a bubble, then let it pop because it's not.
hello. Hello.
That is a. I was like, the internet, what we're on right now, would change our lives forever. Yeah, go ahead,
That
Trey.
connects me. Like you telling me right now, I see people from Florida. I see people from
Timbuktu.
yeah, Timbuktu, Las Vegas, right now, all on the same in the same like space.
Yeah,
I mean, when was the last time you were able to do that before the technology outside of the telephone? And when
man.
you realize how the telephone used to work, you had the operator on there listening to the call, laughing at you. Baby, please don't leave me. The operator back there, like, whoo, girl, we got a crazy one today, boy. He begging.
Bring everybody around. Who
Yeah,
said this right here, Sally?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't know.
Operation Tech Takeover. Tech Coach Ralph said, Trey, you have the opportunity, you have the entrepreneurial mindset versus the employee mindset, which is what? Oh, you're gonna beat me to the pace. You're gonna beat me to it because I'm gonna talk about that next, actually. In
Yeah,
our next
good segue then.
that's an excellent segue,
But
actually.
I guess you're right, bro. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. If you think like the opportunity is not there because it's gonna take my job, which what we're talking about next, then that's what needed there is. That's a hard thing because not everybody has that mindset,
Yeah.
and not everybody can be a good business owner. And that's one thing that I'm learning is that not everybody has that, but we're gonna talk about it in a moment. So take a drop says employees forever, entrepreneurs never. That's a t-shirt. You want
Man.
to create that, Tech Coach Ralph? That's a t-shirt right there. Oh man, that's a t-shirt. Listen, y'all, we're gonna keep the conversation rolling. In fact, this conversation is not going to end. It's actually going to roll into the next segment that we have here. But before we transition to there, we do have a segment that we love to share with you, especially if you're new here. It's called Secure the Bag with the Tech Wire here. Secure the badge and the bag, right? But this segment is brought to you by Secure the Badge, your ultimate guide for upcoming tech events, and explore more at securethebadge.com. Now, I don't want you to hop off of here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to share my screen, and I want to show you what it is when you go to securethebadge.com. And we actually have one of the founders here, Ty, who's on. I can't move this so you don't block it, but Ty, who is on the call right now. So thank you so much, Ty, for stopping by. But if you are not aware, Secure the Badge, they have, let me just preface this for those who are coming and joining us on the portrait side of YouTube and other places as well. Secure the Badge is not just a place for you to see upcoming tech events, but it's also a community. So as I scroll down here, you can see November events that they have coming up. They have everything from sales side of things. Channel Vision Expo is going to be on. Then the tech side of things in regards to AI. They have business. They have various different events that are occurring that you want to take a look at, where we talked about AI. They have the Texas AI Leadership Summit. And it's not just in the United States, it's throughout the entire world. As you can see, there's events in Dublin, Ireland, some in Canada, some that you're going to also see in parts of Africa, whether it's Nigeria or other places as well, Ghana. So just look through this list and you'll see amazing events that are coming up. This one's in Cape Town, South Africa. It's regarding the Africa Tech Festival. There's tons of these events that are on here. Now, I want to backtrack to this section here because this important thing I want to kind of highlight. Like, this is all events, as you can see. There's tons of them. This is just November. We're going to go into December. But right here, they have a community that basically pays for itself. So this community allows not every Tuesday. So today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. They'll drop at least 100 tickets at no cost to you, right? The cost of the community allows you to be a part of what they're doing, but basically some tickets in there that you can get for free could cost $600 or so. So, like, for example, let's go back to these events that we have coming up here. There's tons of different events. This one event, Social Fest, $149 to $599. That one event. There's other events here that cost money as well. The Accelerator Con, that's $149 to $549 in range. So based off of what you're looking at, 2 or 3 events would eclipse the amount that you would be part of this community for a year. Plus, you get to not only be a part of the community to get access to these events and things of that nature. When you're part of this community, you're also gonna, if you're looking to get speaking opportunities, there'll be speaker opportunities there. Great way to network, great way to find if you're looking for a new job. All that's going to be in this community, and you have people that are super duper connected that can help you get to where you want to go. That's a part of that community already. Now, I will warn you though, they are not, this is going to be only for a certain amount of people. So once they hit their mark, whether it's 2,000, 2,500, it's going to be capped off because otherwise it's not going to be as fruitful as they want it to be. So definitely take advantage of that. Look at it for yourself. Go to securethebadge.com, take advantage of that opportunity to be a part of that community. Again, it pays for itself, and secure the badge.
Listen, man.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna be real with you. Secure the badge. He's not lying when he says it pays for itself. Like when you talk about the unfair advantage, This is the unfair advantage. You go in there and you already see top recruiters dropping in. Hey, here's a role that's hiring right now. I know the direct person, and all you got to do is fill it out and then let me know. Like that's an unfair advantage. You're talking about somebody like myself who, there's a $995 event going on here. I want to go. Instant access, free meal, free merch, and I went in. Got to sit where I wanted to sit in the actual event, and the people that you meet. Again, I'm telling you, unfair advantage, and it's amazing what Ty and the guys are doing over there. It's crazy.
And that's his testimony. There's other testimonies as well. Before it even was called Secure the Badge, I got an opportunity to go through the event because of this program and because of the people that were involved in this, I should say. So definitely, it was my first tech event at Thanksgiving, actually. So definitely take advantage of Secure the Badge for yourself. The information is here. Go to securethebadge.com and check it out for yourself. Now, we want to definitely go back to the show here and have that conversation with you, because this is ties into everything that we're talking about today. And in fact, before I dive into this next topic, I'm going to go to Tech Coach Ralph's comment here. He says, when Google introduced Maps with the third and the VR glasses, with the 3D and VR glasses, I took my wife on vacation to Italy. He said, put on these glasses, baby. We're going to Italy. So, I love it.
Man.
Yeah, that's going about adoption, right? Like the adoption process there. He said in a video the other day that everything you can do with AI feels like Kanye West's workout plan from College Dropout album. Man, you know, if you know, you know.
He said, hey, babe, I got the 3-flight lineup. Okay, we're gonna leave Florida. All right, we're going to Italy for lunch. We're gonna have, we're gonna have lunch out on the veranda. Then we're gonna catch a private flight. We're going to eat dinner in New York, and then we'll be back home tonight. That's what he said. He had it all lined up. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
Listen, if you actually decide to do that and order like Italian food at the house, and be like, open your eyes, baby. Look at this right here.
Yes, sir.
You definitely will be winning that night. Listen, so the next conversation we're going to talk about is lining up to what was said earlier. And I want to bring it up for people who did not see it. Is employees forever, entrepreneurs never, but really this point right here. Trey says you have an entrepreneurial mindset versus an employee mindset. And we're going to talk about that, because what is happening right now is that we're seeing other conversations talking about the AI bubble, but also because of the mass adoption of AI, Silicon Valley is having a problem. It's causing job losses, but not fixing them. So we're going to talk about that real quickly and what that means. And so I'm going to just go into that story. But basically, Silicon Valley, it says it's in a situation where right now there are tech companies specifically who are using AI to replace jobs while talking about helping workers, but not really doing much to support them. And there's a big gap between what they say and what they actually do. So according to the reports that we had, is that AI is replacing workers at a record pace. Over 130,000 tech workers were laid off this year alone, and 17,000 of those layoffs were directly caused by AI. So that's a little bit over 10%, a little over 10% of those, right? In September 2025 alone, 7,000 people, according to the research we did, lost jobs because of AI. And that's about 491 people losing their job to AI every day. Now, many major companies are openly saying they prefer replacing people over retraining them. Some of them, like Accenture said, they cut over 11,000 jobs, saying that some workers couldn't be reskilled fast enough. What did we talk about earlier? Right? So they're saying that they couldn't be reskilled fast enough. And then Salesforce said, I need fewer people, right? After letting AI take over their entire teams. That's what some of the people that are leading there. Amazon plans to avoid hiring 160,000 jobs by 2027 through automation. And XAI, as we know, that's Elon Musk's company, fired about 500 workers who helped build their very AI that later replaced them. Ooh, nasty work. So the tech leaders like Sam Altman and Elon Musk say UBI. This is something else that's going to be another thing that we can discuss about this. Is that the idea that's bubbling up not just in Silicon Valley but across the world is universal basic income. Tech leaders like Sam Altman and Elon Musk said that UBI, giving everyone a basic monthly income, may be the solution or is the solution to AI job losses. So but the whole idea of UBI does have some challenges there. It could cost the US $3 trillion if that's the case to do that. And it might not be enough to replace people's real income. And it's nowhere close to being approved politically. This is just again speculation from a lot of people in those spaces, right? So it's again it's not approved or anything like that yet. So what's happening right now is that we see boot camps like Berry help people move into tech roles still. So they are trying to reskill people, right, and get them into places. IBM, and we've seen this before too, and others are training employees in AI skills. So actually taking the time to invest in employees. But the problems are huge because most programs are for current employees, not people who already lost jobs, and boot camps cut thousands of dollars of costs. So that's great. But there's not, and there's no way to really train tens of thousands of laid off workers in time unless somebody decided to create an opportunity to do that, and then create a pipeline, right? Which we've seen other people have done or starting to do, I should say. And what we're also seeing that entry level jobs are disappearing as well. We're seeing automation happen all over the place with specific roles in specific places there. I went to go get tea this weekend someplace, no cash registers, just everybody who's working behind the scenes to prepare the orders while people put in their order through a machine, right? Companies now expect new hires to already have advanced AI skills. Keep that. Companies are expecting it to already have advanced AI skills. That means young people can't get a foot in the door. They can't get a foot in the door and displace workers that are already there that are not looking to take the advancement as well. But according to them, they said they can do it because they're basically not looking to hire. But we'll talk about that in a few because I think that's not as accurate. The impact isn't equal though. AI job losses hit some groups later or harder. According to this report, those are in low income workers are more likely to lose customer service or clerical roles due to AI, and retraining programs often ignore those communities or cost too much. So what companies are really doing in a nutshell is they're looking to cut the jobs and replace them with AI, train the remaining workers and manage or work alongside them. And then lastly, expect the government, not companies, to handle the fallout. So we'll see about that. But I want to get back to the thoughts here because I see some comments in the comment section, and then I'm going to pass over to Trey. Techno Drop like myself says, I don't see it. Says, I still see it as with AI, you can build more. AI can't come up with what to build, but can suggest how to build it. And jobs have always shifted. Absolutely. Absolutely. Industrial revolution is an example of that.
Big example.
So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to pass over to Trey, though, to see what are the thoughts you had about this particular conversation.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's one of those things where it's very real, but on the other hand, you're getting the answers to the test. Like, excuse me, I don't know how many times they can say, "Hey, AI is taking jobs." Hey, also companies are looking for people who already have skills. Like, how many times do they have to say that? The first thing that comes to my mind, bro, I need to learn the skills. Like, or what's replacing, and how can I learn what's being replaced? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. And so when I see stuff like this, it's like two things that are probably coming to mind. Either you're not aware of what's going on in the real world, and you just you're a wandering generality, and you're not being a meaningful specific. And two, maybe you do see it and you don't believe it, and you don't believe it until it hits and it comes into your industry or your job, and then now you want to start crying and stuff. Because other than that, I don't understand. They're telling you the answers to the test. People need to start learning at the very bare minimum. What is the AI in my industry? What is the AI in my specific space that I need to know and learn well, and then come back to my team, my company, my job with, hey, have y'all heard about this? Have y'all seen this? Look what I was able to do in 1 hour, or maybe in your one-on-one. Hey, saw your numbers have went up by 25%. What's going on here? It's amazing. Yeah, actually, I found a way to be more efficient. I went through our guidelines. Everything is done, to the T as far as legally. And yeah, I was able to do it using this system that I set up for myself. If you'd like, I could do a training for the team, whatever. Now it's either going to, like, all I'm saying is they're telling you the answers to the test.
Yep.
Either you're not looking and you're paying attention to what's going on out here in the world, or you see it and you don't believe it, and you don't believe it till it comes knocking on your door, and now you want to rush and try and, hey, I just started a certification. It's like, it's too late, bro. This person we just brought in know the whole thing. They came in with the system. Sayonara, arrivederci.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. One thing I can tell you, if you're waiting on UBI, universal basic income, good luck.
Mm-mm.
You're gonna be out here starving like Marvin.
Mm-mm.
Because if you think, what's that over in New York? They're banking on, what is that? The government food from the
Oh, in there?
the stores. Yeah, the stores giving out food from the government. It ain't gonna be, it's not gonna be the best. It's not gonna be Whole Foods. I can tell you that. So anyway, yeah, man, that's where we at. I could go all day, so I'll stop here.
No, listen. And if I'll pause here to say this is a call-in show for those who are brand new who don't know. So if you click the link, you could definitely call in. You don't show your face or anything like that, but you could share your thoughts on this conversation as well. We actually just keep it respectful, and a good conversation. But life, that's what Tech Coach Rap says. Life comes at you fast, and how quickly can you maneuver and adopt things? The reason why I wanted to bring up this conversation again after. Well, you said it, not me. The reason why I want to bring it up because in regards to, and then Ty Coach said facts, like Ty Smith says facts. We definitely need to bring this up because it goes back to something that Tech Coach Rouse says. I'm scrolling and scrolling to find it, but it goes back to this. And he said Trey. I'm gonna say fill in the blank, whatever your name is. Do you have an entrepreneur mindset versus an employee mindset? I'm making it a question now because this is the type of opportunity that if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, they're like, oh, I'm salivating at the mouth right now because you're telling me I have to gain skills, right? Gotcha, check. But I could also teach others who are in looking for a job right now, and maybe I could find out what industries need those people to really upscale, focus on a niche industry, train those individuals in it, and get them placed. Sign me up. And there's a boot camps that are doing that already that have those relationships. So we're talking about this article is talking about the wide gamut. But we know there's boot camps out there that are training and developing people. I went through Course Careers. That's one place that I went to just kind of learn about what it means to be an SDR. But there's so many other different roles and jobs and opportunities out there, and companies that are training people, and not for a college salary. They're training people for less than probably a year of community college to get into these particular roles. And so it really depends on what you're doing and what you're going with. Yeah. So I just want to throw that out there because that's an opportunity as well. You might be somebody on this chat who has, you don't think about it, but you're advanced more than the average person. You've been taking time to learn what to utilize the tools for which things. You could probably just do something in your community and saying, hey, free Canva graphics training, AI course or whatever, so that people can now be making graphics for businesses and all sorts of things, or even websites for businesses. And then Trey, you can tell your story of what you're doing, but yeah, I'll pause there and just kind of say the opportunity is absolutely available, but is the mindset there to actually capitalize on that? And that's a question I've asked myself too. We all should ask ourselves that question: like, do we have the mindset?
No, and that's a big one to ask, because even if you don't like, I think sometimes people make it super like harder than it is, as far as like, oh, it's so complex. Doing exactly what you said, bro. Like that's the easiest way. You start off, maybe you started off doing that training for your company, and then it was so good. I don't know, maybe you set up a camera in the back of the corner, and you were able to put it online and sell it as a training for their companies. Like maybe you did it in a way where I'm actually not using my company's information. I'm just using general information, but I'm doing it in front of a crowd. I have the camera set up in the back of the room, and I just set up a payment link through Stripe. And now, hey, if you want your company to, if you want, it's super specific, right? Like, hey, if you want your SDRs to learn how to, I don't know, follow up in 3 minutes with every incoming lead without losing it, have them go through this training. And now you've unlocked that for multiple companies who maybe don't have a big budget for some huge consulting firm to come in, but they can take this $127 course and show it to their team or give it to their team. And now you did it for one time, and now hundreds of companies have used it, small businesses, and made you money. But again, you had to learn that skill first, or like, it's so many different ways you can go with that, but ultimately it's just about learning the skill first. You
Yeah.
don't have to be the expert, really. You just have, or how can I put it, the subject matter expert in the courtroom is just the person that knows the most. Doesn't mean they know all of it, they just know the most out of the people in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you think about it like that, is, are you one step ahead of somebody and just teach it back downstream? But yeah, I don't know, man. It's real interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's something that we could definitely continue to talk about, and then maybe we have people come on and share ways on how you can become. What are some entrepreneur endeavors that you have at this time? So, Tech Coach Ralph has a hot take. I'm just warning you all. He already said pause before, so we just want to make sure that you were prepared for this. He says, hot take: people should spend 10 to 20 hours a week of their own time making their skills better in whatever industry they are in. Yeah, 10
You
to
can't
12
tell
hours a
me.
week.
You can't tell me you're not gonna get better if you're spending that much time.
Yeah, let's even make it easier. Would 5 hours a week, 1 hour every day on the weekday, what would that mean? What would that do? You know, because somebody looking at the double digits like 10 to 20 hours. I got stuff, I got bills to pay. But
Man,
what would
they
just five,
wasting
five
that.
hours a week?
They wasting that 10 to 20 on TikTok. Stop it.
Yeah.
You wasting that doing frivolous nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Calculate it up. I guarantee you it's a lot of people that are spending a whole lot of time doing nothing when they could use that time for something. And so yes, they do have the 10 to 20 hours. How many hours in a week? Bro, I'm sick of it. How many hours in a week? 167? Is that what it is? No. Am I tripping?
Oh yeah. No, I think you're close.
Well,
Um,
subtract that 40 from work.
168. Yeah, you're close.
160, 168. 168 hours in a week minus 40 because you got a job. That's 128 hours left. Maybe you sleeping, maybe you ain't. Some of y'all be up all night watching TV, not even sleep. So at the end of the day, like, there's time. There is time. There is time.
Yeah, I would. I'm all right. So I'm not gonna say devil's advocate, but what I
Yeah.
would say is for those persons that saying, listen, 10, 20 hours, as a comment said here, it's rubbish, right? Let's
Ooh,
let's just take it to five. Let's just say 5 hours, right?
it's rubbish till you lose, like till you get kicked out by somebody who knows the information.
Listen,
Like,
and it's happening, right?
Brenda, I'm sorry. And maybe not you. Maybe maybe you figured out a different way to learn the information. It's rubbish until somebody comes in and they know everything that you don't, and they go with that person.
That's true.
So I mean, but go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Let it be known, because that's that's kind of where
Like,
I was going.
because the thing is, bro, people underestimate. Like,
They don't estimate
you
themselves.
look at maybe a LeBron James, you look at a Michael Jordan, you look at anybody big in whatever space they're in. You look at all those people, and you like,
How they get
they
there?
yeah, how did they get there? And you don't realize, bro, they coming in practicing before the practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have other people on that same team. Practice start at 11 a.m. They coming in at 10:30, starting to stretch. They've been there 3 hours before, worked out,
Mm-hmm.
full workout, full stretch, came back, and now they about to work out with the team. We're like, the 10 to 20 hours that he's telling you, that's not the average. That's not average. That's if you actually want to, like, hey, how do I stay and move forward?
Yep.
That's what that is. So it might sound like rubbish, but he's trying to help, because here's what he knows. He knows you're probably not going to do the 10 to 20 hours. So if the goal
Yeah.
is 10 to 20 and you land at, I don't know, 8, he won. He got you to do more.
Well, listen, in him winning, you win too. You know what I mean? You win too. Like, if we really, if and that's why I said, even if it's just 5 hours, like, you want to say, you know what, I'm going to give myself an hour just to kind of learn something that can help me at my job regarding AI. That will make a significant change. Just 5 hours, you know, of taking away time from, let's say it's not, let's say you're even doing laundry. If you're just listening to something that's teaching you about it, just, again, I'm trying to make it as basic as possible. You are helping yourself out in the long run. You're helping your family out. You're helping other people around you. Tech Coach Ralph said, "Told you it was a hot take."
Yeah,
So,
y'all better be glad Joseph is saving them. Joseph is saving y'all. He's
I'm not
saving
even
y'all.
saying don't do it. I'm just saying, I'm just
No.
down to like 5
I'm
hours.
I'm, ta- I'm, ta- I'm trying to let back on the gas. I
Yeah.
will say.
Run over them, right? Just put the pedal to the metal. Listen, press it down hard, right? But you're absolutely right though. If you do 5, let's just work into it. 5, 6, 7, eventually doing 10, you're gonna be in a sweet spot. You're going to be in a sweet spot. Guaranteed? No. But if you definitely take the opportunity, if you definitely follow the steps, there's no reason why. There's no reason why. And
Yeah.
Reese is in the building. Good morning.
Hey.
Miss you and miss the show for sure.
Oh
We miss you.
yeah. Well, there's always next week. It ain't no thing.
Ain't no thing.
Yeah, bro. It's a reason Drake said they wasn't with me shooting in the gym, man. It's a reason he said that. Because the people, they want that, right? They want whatever it is. They look at that Elon Musk got the billion or $1 billion pay package probably coming up.
Yeah.
And they're like, he doesn't deserve that, or he shouldn't get that. But it's like, you're not doing a quarter of what he's doing. He don't sleep. And I'm not saying that you want that. I'm not even saying
Yeah.
that you want that. What I'm saying is, like, I would never hate on, like I told y'all last week, I don't agree with everything that Elon does.
Yeah.
But what you can't deny is his work ethic and his mind around that business and what he does in that space. I said billion, my bad, bro. Trillion, yes, thank you. Thank you for the, yes, trillion. You look at that trick, he doesn't deserve that much money. He probably deserves that and more, because it's about the value that you bring to the market.
Mm-hmm.
Is the value that you bring to the market. And so I'm done, bro. So that we can end the show.
Listen, it needs to be said. It
Yeah.
needs to be said. So I'm not mad at it at all, because it needs to be said. Like, if we gonna wake up one day, holding our hands for UBI, that we're not in a good place.
And you're
We're
gonna be
not in a good
starving.
place. Starving like Marvin. Starving like Marvin. Well, listen, it's been a while, and I have to do this because Oris is here. It has been a while since we did this. Before we go, let's do the Brown Box Special. The Brown Box Special is brought to you. If you don't know, it's about any story of somebody that has been fired, laid off, or quit their jobs. We all been there. So this is kind of giving us a moment to woosah, breathe, and look at our past pain and chat about it. We have a question in the building, so put it down if you have the question. And if we get a chance to go through it, we'll go through it. But the brown box special is here. All right, this is credit to Reddit, by the way. So this happened about 6 months ago, but I still think about it constantly. I was working at a small but successful marketing firm for about 3 years. It wasn't my dream job, but it was good. It was good. I was good at it. And I liked my coworkers. My boss, however, was, let's say, difficult. The kind of guy who micromanages everything, but then blames others when things go wrong. One day he called me into his office and completely out of nowhere told me he was letting me go. His reasoning? You just don't seem passionate about the work. And I was stunned. I had consistently met my deadlines, gotten great feedback from clients, and never once had a complaint against me. I asked for specifics, but all he could say was that he needed someone with more enthusiasm. Air quotes. Fine, whatever. I took my severance and left. And within 2 weeks, landed a better paying job with fully remote setup, and life was good. Then about a month later, I get a text from my old boss. It was just a simple, "Hey, can we talk?" I ignored it. The next day, I got a LinkedIn message, then an email, and finally a voicemail where he actually apologized and said things in the firm were falling apart without me. Apparently, my replacement quit after 2 weeks and clients were unhappy. I won't lie, I considered going back to just see how desperate he really was. But instead, I sent a short, polite email saying I have already moved on and wished him the best. A few weeks ago, I caught up with a former coworker who confirmed that my ex-boss is now handling my old workload himself and absolutely hating it. Feels good. How many people have been through that situation before?
Bro, that's a crazy one, but that's where like too many times people just try and not judge, but they look at somebody and they make that automatic assumption instead of actually going and saying, "Hey, how are you feeling about the role right now? You know, is there anywhere that you feel like you might need to be more happy?" And then you might realize, "Oh no, I'm good. I actually love working here." Like everybody is not the same. I actually, bro, I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me over the years where people just automatically assume I don't talk much. I know it might seem like, I do or whatever, but I really in real life, I don't actually talk that much. Kind of reserved unless you're talking to me. Then if I'm passionate about that subject, then I'll go in. But sometimes people they're like, you don't seem too, happy about the situation or whatever. And it's like, all you gotta do is ask the person. If you ask them, you'll really find out. And maybe they might say, "I'm really loving it here," or "I'm really doing good. I love it. I love what I do." Instead, looks like it made that, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make the call. It don't look like he ain't chipper. He ain't coming in smiling from ear to ear." So, you know, I don't know. That's tough. Lost a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Serafima, she actually said very crazy, and I
Yep.
totally agree. Very
What's
crazy.
going on?
Tech Coach Route that said a polite email actually said go yourself. that was a polite email. Oh man, yeah. Tyson was like the brown box special. Yeah, man.
Yes,
I
indeed.
appreciate that. Oh man. And then do we have this to close it out here? If you want to do this and chime in real quickly here. He said in this situation, the CEOs of company will fire people and use AI to produce profit. That's I guess that's one of the questions to the conversation that we had earlier.
Oh,
Um,
I mean,
that he wanted to share. Like, is this the situation that CEOs of company will fire people and use AI to produce profit? I mean, there's a lot
possibly.
of situations. There's a lot of situations where they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
I personally, I still am on that soapbox of we need both. We need to augment humans versus replace them, because, like was mentioned before by Tech Coach Ralph, AI can give you suggestions, but they can't really decision making sort of stuff. It's really us that help to say that's good, that's not good. Like we kind of curate what it produces, and so that's where I stand. But there are companies and CEOs who are thinking, how can I use AI to replace them? Listen, I'm gonna have an employee that never calls out sick, that works 24/7 on my behalf. Sign me up. And it's only the fraction of a cost of somebody's salary. Where do I begin? So there are CEOs who are thinking that way,
Yeah.
um, and so we will see the volatile nature of it, where some people are like, "That's what I want," and others are like, let me mix up both. Oh, we got NC Work in the building. Say good morning, everyone.
Good
Glad to
morning.
have you here. Yeah, and then Untecho Route said it's the perfect word, curate. Like that we had that taste, we have that ability to kind of see exactly what we want, and we've seen it before. If we looked at the early, like, what AI was spewing out at us when we put it in, we're like, not exactly
Yeah.
right. So we had to come back and get different prompts and kind of get it to where we want to get it, and then we have to be able to produce it. Now it's gotten better, but it hasn't gotten Skynet better. so I don't know where the pause came from, but I missed it. So but you have to quote me on it. I don't know what I said, but but basically, just the whole point of it is just answer that question. Like, yes, that is something that CEOs are looking to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, man, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for rocking with us on this episode. Like promised, we're gonna go through everybody that commented here, from Tech Coach Ralph to Big Bubbles, who commented earlier. Coco the Yorkie, thank you so much. Ty Smith, thank you as well. And again, go to securethebadge.com to see all that Ty Smith, Jarrett, and the team are cooking up over there. And then we have Brenda, who said what she said. Maurice is in the building. So glad that you're here, Maurice. And then Sam, I think it's Sem with a 5 in the beginning. I think
Probably
that's how
Sim, but it's 5 EM. Sim.
okay, sweet.
Little play on words. Okay.
I like it, and I
Cover
appreciate
on
yeah, absolutely appreciate the comment too, as well, just to kind of wrap it up there. And then Seraphima, what she said as well, and then NC Worker, good morning. So glad to have everybody on it. Oh, don't blow kisses at us. That was a French. Okay, all right, whatever. Listen, it's all good. It's all good. But with that being said, it's time to wrap it up before it gets crazy in here. You have been listening to Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. We'll see y'all next week, baby.
Peace and elbow.